back to me, my bike and I. My name's Rich, and this is the 1984 VF750F Interceptor, I believe. And yeah, we're going to have a little walk around. It's looking very nice in this light. Less than standard size number plate, wonky rear indicator, classic Honda, but to be fair, if that's 40 years old. The actual exhausts are looking really good. I'm guessing they're both original. Wheels are looking pretty good, front and back. Pretty good. Brake discs are in excellent condition. The pads are full of meat. Don't know if you can see them. Lots of meat on them anyway. But they're stuck. Well, I say stuck. It's hard to push, so they'll need to be removed and rebuilt. It's actually quite hard to turn the steering, and I thought, steering head bearings have probably just seized up, but what's happened is I think this probably got pushed over, bent over in the lorry, and the bracket just there rubs on the fork there when you turn it, so it makes it very difficult to, because I could hear it grinding and binding as I was trying to turn it when the wheel was straight. It was because it was rubbing there, so I don't think there's anything wrong with the, well, that doesn't lead me to believe now there's anything wrong with the steering head bearings, but they probably need doing anyway. I'll just have to bend that back, but all in good time. I think I mentioned the paintwork is absolutely shocking. Now the engine has been hand painted, the frame has been hand painted. You can see the brush marks, so it's all going to have to come off and be stripped back and sprayed. Engine's going to come out anyway. All of this has been hand painted. Again, terribly. You can see brush marks, well I can see brush marks even on the tank. I'm not sure what part of the fairings have been hand painted, but this isn't original anyway. That's all original, as in how the decals sit and the colours. This isn't, because these bikes were just either blue and white or red and white, so this should all be red all across. You can see it, but I can see it. It's been hand painted white. So tank and all the fairings anyway need to come off, be stripped back, either sprayed or wrapped, and get all the decals back on exactly as they should be. That's how it should be. But yeah, this should all be red anyway. One tiny rip in the seat there. Not too much to worry about. Easily recover it. That should have a strap going across. You can see where he's done a DIY job there. It's missing a screw there, so that's flapping out, and it has got a crack there, and I didn't notice that when I went to look at it, and I'm worried that might have happened in the van coming back, but it is what it is. We can fix that. That is the only little mark as in crack, that I can see on the entire bike as far as fairings go. These were actually all flapping off, but they've just popped out, that's all, they're not broken. I thought I was going to be needing to repair lugs and things like that, but they're all there, they've just popped out. Really good tyres. For a 750 that is a slim wheel, but you know, this is early 80s, so wouldn't build a 750 these days with a wheel that small, would you? Tyre that narrow, I should say. Done a ghastly job of this rocker cover, well, both rocker covers I should say. As you can see, painted red. I mean, you can see the ripples in the paint, it's so thick. And you can actually smell the paint, it's like it's still drying, so this couldn't have been done too long ago. It's even painted over temperature, it's like a rubber cover over the temperature sensor. Everything's been painted, like nothing's been left untouched. Paint on the forks are nice, the actual paint on the mudguard's nice. These forks are weeping, they will definitely need rebuilding. I won't do a video on that because I've got 2 videos on my channel already with fork rebuilds. I love the style of the grab rail on the back. That's really neat looking. Blocks are quite neat. As you can see, I think I mentioned they're in KMH, if you can see that. A bit dirty. And they only go up to 180. Not really sure if you can see that. So that's because this bike was built for the Japanese market at the time. Their legislation essentially enforced limits on speeds to 180 or about 112 miles per hour. So the simple fix for this should be to just change those clocks to MPH ones, you know, to a higher value, because that will get rid of the speed limiter that is built into the clocks. Because essentially it's just like a little metal disc on the back of the speedo, which, you know, when it hits a certain point, just cuts the power to the spark through the CDI in some way. And I need to change them to MPH anyway. When you've got a bike that's 40 years old, what really doesn't matter is how many miles or kilometres it's showing, because it's irrelevant really. You don't even know if it's already clocked, it's gone round the clock, you haven't got a clue. It's probably genuine, to be fair, because this bike was imported in 2009 from Japan. It's showing 32,951 kilometres, and the MOT history from 2009 backs that up. So it could very well be just that's all it's done, but who knows, it could have done 132,000, who knows. I do like the fact that when he painted it, he did actually leave these fins as bare aluminium polished, but he should have left this clutch side, I think that's the clutch side, bare aluminium as well. That should really be bare, and then the Honda sign painted black. That's a nice cover, to be fair, there's no damage on that at all. You can see on this side of the bike you've got the cover left bare aluminium with the lettering in filled black. That's going to need to come off because the clutch is stuck. It's a hydraulic clutch, see? So the lever doesn't do anything, it's just stuck in neutral at the moment, which is good. I think the battery's under this side, so we're going to need to take that off in a minute and get some charge into it, because they showed me it running, as in sent me a video of it running, but not doing anything now. So much of this stuff has been painted over, it's just shocking. It's kind of... It's like a big vat of Dulux has sicked up all over it. But aside from the top of the tank, I'm going to get this repainted or re-wrapped in all those original colours, with the top of the tank restored to the red. And you look at it in this light and that just looks awesome, doesn't it? Need to source a, well, say source, readily available filler cap. It's just an emergency AA one. I don't think you can see inside there, but the tank is pretty. Let me go and get a torch. It's pretty awful. Hang on, if you can. There you go. So I'm hoping just a bit of citric acid with the rust, and then we can chuck a bit of sealer in there. But yeah, it's a brutal engine. It's a V4 750 or 748cc. I think it's only 86 brake horsepower, but for the sort of early 80s that was quite something special. But for me it's just an iconic looker, and when I get all the cosmetics done it's going to be an awesome bike. I think that scoop really sets it off. It actually hides a second radiator. You've got the top one there, and then you've got one tucked behind there with the oil filter. Once it's been de-restricted, it should get up to about 138, I think it is. More than I'll ever need to do on it. When you get down to road level, I mean, it's super clean. I mean, okay, there's the usual, but it's not covered in muck and grease. Well, at least he painted the centre stand. Saves me a job. Bodywork, the painting that lets it down. Literally, I don't think any surface has gone unpainted, even like the clutch reservoir and the brake fluid reservoir. Interesting little features there. Look, you've got these little, you'll have a little screw hole, wouldn't you? Like a Phillips or JIS actually, in a Jap bike, but they are proper little hex socket screws. Painted over. There's just a cap missing off the right hand side fork. It should be easy to fabricate or find. Don't know what the red light for is there. All the lights work on that dash. Why you'd have a separate red light there, I don't know. It doesn't come on when the ignition goes on. The temperature gauge right there, so can't be anything to do with that. Reasonably standard 80s switchgear there. You've got indicators there, lights, so off, main beam, high beam, passing, horn. I don't think the horn works actually. It works a bit. That's original. But the second line shouldn't be there, as the tank should all be one colour as far as the blue line goes, and then goes white. I believe the compress is okay, so I don't know what kind of fluid's going to be in these reservoirs at all, but I dread to think, but we'll see. Glad the screen hasn't cracked, although parts are readily available, but this one should clean up nice. All these discs all the way around are in really good condition, they've hardly had any wear on them. It's an unusual issue. You've got the high beam light in the middle there. When you put the high beam on, I'm presuming that's glowing blue. You can't really see it in the daylight, but you've also got an amber band below it, so I'm not entirely sure what's going on there. It might get rectified with a change of clocks anyway. Take the water reservoir cap off. It's difficult to do one hand, but there you go. Filter to the top, perfectly good in terms of colour, so that's not empty or anything like that, or rusty, so I'll stick that back on properly later. Do it now, you fool, before you forget. There you go. One of the engine mods I want to do, let me show you. Just come down to this side. You can just see that union right there. Just comes out of the bottom of the engine. That runs an oil line across here, round, up, and splits off and goes to both rockers. The problem is, the way this engine has been put together is you've got the oil filter down there, and then once oil's come through there, that goes to the crank. But on the oil pump you've got another spur of unfiltered oil that goes up to the transmission and also splits off up through there to the top of the rockers. So it's actually getting a very weak supply of oil. So what a lot of people do is they put a sandwich plate between the filter there and the block, and they run a spur directly externally up to the rockers, which gives the oil feed to the top of the engine a little bit more of a meaty pump. Because I think over time these things have suffered a little bit with oiling at the cams. So that's a job to do. Honestly, up close it just looks shocking. The feature I really like on the side of this tank, very stylish. And he hasn't painted it. The chain looks okay, but it will need a good old clean. Might need to replace it. Looks like an O-ring chain, but difficult to tell. Well, I hope you enjoyed the walk around of my 1984 16-valve Honda VF750F. I'm going to get her back in the garage and get her on charge, and in the next video we can fire her up and see if she sounds as good as she looks. Well, in some lights.